We do have D-backs, White Sox, D-backs going for the sweep this morning. And then, of course, we have the NBA drafts and the NBA draft show tonight, Wolf. So, first of all, how are you doing? You only have 4 seconds to answer.
I'm doing well, no doubt about it. Thank you very much. Where are we going in this beautiful part of the program?
Let's start with the draft because we're going to get into D-backs on deck next segment. So
I'm going to put the skull cap on for that. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
The D-backs on deck. The skull cap is going on.
It's such a weird baseball season. Jeremy Woo was on with Bickley and Murata this morning talking about some of the players that have been linked to the Phoenix Suns, including Derek Queen.
Yeah, well, Queen is an really interesting player. Had a very productive year at Maryland. Has some very pronounced strengths and weaknesses, right? I mean, the offensive skill is very, I think, special for a guy his size. There's not a ton of bigs who can do the things he does and create and attack mismatches. Defensively, work in progress. Sometimes he's apathetic. Not always in the best shape. I think the conditioning is an element of this as well. It's thinking about the fit for the Suns. I mean, I would think after last season, I would think maybe somebody with more of like a defensive mentality might make sense. Mm-hmm. In terms of what weaknesses they need to address, but certainly there's a case to just take a chance on the talent that he has too.
Sold. In regard to I would think there was somebody else that might be a better fit for the Phoenix Suns. Sold on that. I'm not. The Derek Queen thing again. I'm not rooting against him at all, Basinonians. If in fact the Suns do take Derek Queen at number 10, I'm going to hope that he develops and suddenly he's one of these guys that has a ton of circumference and gives you everything he's got on the defensive end of the floor and is tough and physical. That's the guy that I want. Now, Derek Queen right now doesn't strike me as that guy. Doesn't mean he can't be that guy at some point in time. But right now, you either got it or you don't.
Yeah, and it comes down to how big of a risk do you want to take if you're the Suns, because the players that seem to be mocked in that range that they could take that have the upside, probably the most upside, is Derek Queen. But at the same time,
agreed.
He's got the probably the lowest floor. And if they miss on this 10th pick, you have to get a player, I think, with that 10th pick. So Carter Bryant is actually who Jeremy Woo has mocked to the Suns. There, Jeremy Woo and Jonathan Cavani did a 2-round mock for ESPN that came out. I guess it's late last night, early today. They have Carter Bryant going to the Suns at number 10. Another name though that we're hearing a lot is Colin Murray Boyles. This is Jeremy Woo on his upside.
Murray Boyles does a lot of really nice things. I mean, I think the defense is a good selling point. He's versatile. He's very smart. Offensively, he does most things pretty well other than shoot, right? He's not really an accomplished shooter at all. So, that's a big question. But I think his overall productivity, teams who really value the analytics models and how they project, he's been a favorite for, from that perspective. He's a player who's sort of grown on me over time. But I like his feel, I like his toughness, and I like that he kind of knows who he is as a player. So I think to my previous point with Phoenix, you need guys who are going to come in and not need the ball and not necessarily need to be scorers.
Oh boy, you know what? I'm at it, Basinonians, where I want Murray Boyles.
I kind of do too.
You do too?
Yeah,
as well.
That's where I was yesterday, and I was trying to figure out kind of more of a high upside guy, but the more we saw him play last year, but the more I read the write up in their story, one of the things they have on Colin Murray Boyles, who they have going to the Bulls actually at 12. NBA teams say Murray Boyles rates historically well in their draft models because of his strong passing, foul drawing ability, 2-point shooting, defensive playmaking, and youth, which will appeal to several teams in this range. And the teams they point to that would be really interested in him are like Oklahoma City and Memphis, teams they say are some of the most analytic influenced teams in the league. So you can see what he'll give you, but if the analytics also back it up, that's a pretty solid player.
And for me, I agree with what you're saying, but for me, it's the perimeter. That's where I question Colin Murray Boyles. It's on the perimeter. It's on both ends. It's not just offensively, but also defensively. Does he have the feet? I think that he does. Does he have the athleticism? I think that he does. But I think it's going to be in question. You're 6'7", 240 pounds, and you're going to play out on the perimeter, and he will. He's a power forward, of course. A lot of people project him as a power forward or even a small forward, but he's going to be on the wing. And if you're on the wing, you better be able to move your feet and do it in a very excellent kind of way. Now, look, scouts, Phoenix Suns, scouts, professional scouts that look at him, they're going to know whether or not they think he's going to be able to do it or be a liability at some point in time.
And this says he's 6'6.5" without shoes, height without shoes.
I got 6'7", yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not like he's a giant, but still that's decent size.
Well, when you're 240, you're thick.
Yeah. I'm still there's still part of me that just wants them to trade up somehow and jump in front of like Washington and draft Ace Bailey if he's dropping down draft boards, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But so anyway, those are two of the main names. We talked to Kevin Sweeney yesterday, just going back to Carter Bryant for a second. This is what he said about the U of A product.
Yeah, I think he's totally a logical fit. 15 would be probably the bottom of Carter's range. I think you could certainly see him anywhere from probably 9 to 15 here tomorrow night. I think still developing as an offensive player, but he fits the mold of a lot of the great role players that we saw have so much success during the playoffs. Right, he's got great positional size. He can guard multiple positions. He's a high-level three-point shooter, and he's got a good feel for the game. He can make decisions. He doesn't need to be on the ball a lot. And so he's someone that possesses a little bit of the upside, which you want when you're drafting in the lottery, but also some game-ready elements that I think teams will really value.
Your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, that's Carter Bryant. I know a lot of people are a little worried that maybe he's a little too small for it. The Suns need everything right now except the shooting guard. I tend to lean towards the idea that maybe let's address the front court more so than point guard, just because if you had to have Book play it, he can play it. But, I mean, if there's like an amazing point guard there, certainly – at 29, I mean, you got to remember they have a second pick tonight too. Then I could see them going down that path. We should throw out this other name that has been linked to them a lot, although the range where he's expected to go is kind of in a weird spot for the Suns. But Danny Wolf, the power forward out of Michigan.
Not Michigan State,
no, but
Michigan.
He did still play basketball in Michigan, but he's 6'11". I mean, you want some
length.
Yeah, and so. It seems like 10 would be too high to take him, but 29 he might not still be there. But, maybe if he's there at 25, you can package a number 2 with pick 29 if you really want him.
So, of the 4 names that we have mentioned here, who would you like to see the Phoenix Suns get? If you had to pick one, who would it be?
For me, it would be Colin Murray Boyles.
It would be, Murray Boyles.
Just because I think that's a guy that I think you have to get somebody with that 10th pick that's still going to be on the team in 4 or 5 years. And, I mean, good luck projecting that unless you're getting Cooper Flagg. I understand that. But I just feel like that's the sort of solid player that, assuming he is committed to, improving like every college player has to, I just think he's a guy that will be a part of this team for a while.
Here's the great thing about this. The Phoenix Suns, they know who Colin Murray Boyles is. They know who he is as a person. Every one of these guys we've talked about, they know who he is, or they think they know who he is. They've done an awful lot of research on this. But when I watch him play, he just seems to be a really good fit from a mentality perspective and a physical perspective as well, to use that 240, to use that butt and throw it around.
He wouldn't be the most exciting pick, I'll grant you that. But everything they said they wanted at the end of the season, he kind of fits that. And he fits it in a way where they don't really have a whole lot of other, right now, it's not like they have any other lockdown defenders other than Ryan Dunn. And there's no guarantee Murray Boyles will be a lockdown defender in the NBA, but so far so good at the college level.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.